Okay, really quick. Do you guys remember John Mearsheimer? He was the so-called academic with his like geopolitical theories that basically was like, hey, Russia actually deserves Ukraine. And remember how I said this guy isn't actually repping a real academic theory? This guy's just a Russian propagandist. Look at his YouTube channel. Oh my god. He's been putting out like one video a day that have clickbait titles that are all straight from the Kremlin. I was completely right about this guy. When I first watched his video on Ukraine back in 2014, when I watched his video on 2014 Ukraine, and I was like, this isn't legitimate, like, international theory. This is just like Putin apologism here. I was totally right. I was completely correct. Look at this. Putin's aim, extreme Russophobia. Trump didn't view Putin as the bad guy. Putin's not going to let this happen. Ukraine is a Western bulwark. Put yourself in Putin's shoes. The Germans dance to our tunes. No way this war ends anytime soon. Not true. Putin's like Russia clearly. Blah, blah, blah. Russians clearly understand the existential threat as they make nuclear threats like 3 times a day. Okay, like, and all of these are like, you ever get tired of being right about how bad these people are? I don't know if this channel is actually controlled by Mearsheimer and that he's just using clips from lectures and stuff to like put out there, or if it's just a fan channel. But I mean, here, listen, Russia isn't imperialist. Like,
other countries.
you
That
can
to
see
me
they're
is
like
what
screen recordings of
imperialism is
older
about.
stuff. The dude's
It's
pretty old.
creating an empire. So imperialism and empire go together. For John, this is really all about balance of power politics. It's all about taking NATO and putting it too close to Russia, and the Russians viewing this as a threat.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a fan channel. If it wasn't a fan channel, they would link like the website here. Turn the audio up. Yeah, why is the audio so quiet?
Much the way we viewed Soviet-tipped missiles in Cuba during the Cuban Missile Crisis as a security threat. So for me, it's all about balance of power logic. You can see my realism coming through and why I don't like the word imperialism. But I do want to be clear here. It's all a function of how I define imperialism and how I define balance of power politics.
It's crazy. He's actually doing the thing that Marxist Leninists will do, where they'll be like, the Soviet Union wasn't imperialist, even though it conquered a bunch of neighboring countries and suppressed them militarily, because of Lenin's definition of imperialism. You know? Like, because of this other definition of imperialism that we have. At the very least, it shows you what his like lectures are being used for.
Communique at its annual Brussels summit. I'm going to quote, we reiterate the decision made at the 2008 Bucharest.
Look at this. The original video here, Why is Ukraine's the West's Fault, featuring John Mearsheimer, 28 million views. It is literally the largest and most prominent piece of like pro-Putin propaganda in the war against Ukraine in existence. This single video is larger than any other piece of media defending the Russian invasion of Ukraine.
Bucharest summit that Ukraine will become a member of the alliance, as an integral part of the process. We reaffirm all elements of that decision. We reaffirm all elements of that decision, as well as subsequent decisions, including that each partner will be judged on its own merits. We stand firm in our support for Ukraine's right to decide its own future and foreign policy course, free from outside interference. On September 1st, 2021,
what the fuck
Zelensky
is this?
visited the White House, where Biden made it clear in his public statements that the United States was, quote, firmly committed to Ukraine's Euro-Atlantic aspirations. Then, on November 10th, 2021, Secretary of State Tony Blinken and his Ukrainian counterpart signed an important document. It's called the U.S.-Ukraine Charter on Strategic Partnership.
I take it back. This is boring. Like, this is his actual website. Look at all this shit. Oh, Crystal Nation. Russia is not a serious threat to the United States. Ukraine, a foolish and unnecessary war. What? Motherfucker thinks he's Machiavelli. Doesn't that tell you everything that you need to know about him? That he would compare himself to the guy who's most famous for like satirically justifying the right of like lunatic tyrants to rule. Because like that's what Machiavelli did, right? Like his writings were basically like, yep, society needs a strong leader who takes no shit, and he's like writing this with the biggest like ironic eye roll expression. You know what I mean? Yeah, but it may have been a satire, but it didn't really get interpreted that way, right? Like at the time, it was used to legitimately justify. Yeah, it was a very nihilistic form of politics. It was basically like, yep, this is the best we get, you know. Try Scott Ritter news.
In his memory, this has to be.
Oh yeah, this is the guy. This is the pedophile that the gray zone people like so much. Actual pedophile. He's been busted twice in pedo stings by the feds, right? Didn't he only recently get out for that? Yeah, I think it was twice, right? Yeah, ex-UN inspector Scott Ritter, guilty in the sex chat case, found guilty of unlawful contact with a minor following an online sexting operation, and that's from 2011. Wasn't there a second one? Oh yeah, and then again in 2015. My man. Oh no, is this the same one? I swear to God, there are two cases of this. I saw a tanky defend him by saying he was catfished. Yeah, I think I saw the same thread you're referring to, yeah. Where they were like, hey, listen, it was catfished, okay? He was entrapped by the federal agent pretending to be a 15-year-old girl. Anyway, you know, only the best defending Russia, I guess.
The battle for Kherson.
Oh my God, he looks like a pedophile too.
Part 2. There was a briefing given by the newly appointed singular commander of Russian forces in the special military operation.
He looks like alt-universe John Goodman. You know, like evil John Goodman?
General Sirovokin. And he said, the situation on the battlefield is tense. He also talked about the need
John
to evacuate
Badman, yeah.
civilians from areas around the city of Kherson, indicating that the war is about to come to them. The next day, Russian President Vladimir Putin declares martial law in the 4 newly acquired territories, Kherson, Zaporizhia, Donetsk, and Lugansk. It also imposes an enhanced security regime in other Russian provinces and districts. At the same time, he talked about creating a new special military commission, which would streamline the support provided by Russian agencies and departments to the special military operation.
Why do people watch videos like this? These videos are so fucking boring. I don't get that. Like, there are more well-produced pro-Russia. Laserpig makes great in-depth videos on military experts like this. Well, the crazy thing is, this guy was like the UN inspector. This guy isn't just a random YouTube asshole. This guy was a vocal critic of the Iraq war back in the day. And now he's just like some weird Putin apologist pedophile.
Observers have acted with alarm. You combine General Armageddon's statement together with Vladimir Putin's
the illusion
speech,
of calm competence. Yeah.
Suddenly people have been darkened with doom and gloom. Russia's losing. They're abandoning Kherson. It's over. How could this come to this? It's not happening at all. By evacuating the citizens from Kherson, General Sirovokin is doing what any general should be doing, removing citizens from harm's way. The Russians, unlike the Ukrainians, don't use civilians as human shields. By removing the civilians from the battles...
It really is the illusion of calm competence, isn't it? Because all he's doing here is like uncritically citing military sources from Russia. But I guess this is what you need this for some people. I always wonder what America would be like if the money it had wasted on wars had been spent on improving the lives of its citizens. My brother in Christ, Russia's starving. The people of Russia are starving, and you just drafted them. You just mobilized conscription for the 3rd time in the history of the fucking Russia. Soviet Union / Russia, whatever. And it was for land acquisition. Okay, whatever. This is fucking stupid. We'll cover more Ukraine shit the next time they pull off a rout and kill a bunch of the orcs, I guess. President Sunday has a couple videos breaking down his realist IR theory really well. Yeah, it's totally bunk. It's complete bullshit. It's not a real, like, academic theory. Okay, we're almost on the Brazil stuff. Hold on. Oh, wait, while we're here. Yeah. Russian state TV presenter says Ukrainian kids should be drowned or burned alive. I'm always saying this.
Детей. Прям топить этих детей, топить.
Это не
Прямо
наш
в
метод.
Тысыне. И сразу прям бросаешь в реку с бурным течением. И вот прям в эту сморяковую хату прям забивать и сжечь. Вот прям топить этих детей, топить.
He's really committing to this bit.
И сразу прям бросаешь в реку с бурным течением. И вот прям в эту сморяковую хату прям забивать и сжечь.
Thank you. I thought that was looping for a second, but no, I guess he just liked saying it a lot, you know? All right. Is this even legal? It's Russian state TV. He can say whatever he wants. He got fired, but that's probably because he's openly gay. Wait, he got fired for being openly gay, but not... What? But this news story is from 6 days ago. So, is he... What? He used to be an opposition figure and is openly gay. So did he get brought back on? He got fired because this clip circulated 6 days ago? What's his name? Anton Krasovsky. Krasovsky said Ukrainian children who had in the past criticized the Soviet Union as occupiers of Ukraine should... What? Ukrainian children wouldn't have been around when the Soviet Union was an occupier of Ukraine. You mean they were critical of the past? Not in the past they were critical? Okay. Should be thrown in the river, burned alive with their cabbages. When Krasovsky said Ukraine should not exist at all, his interviewee objected, as this would mean incorporating many people who did not wish to live under Russian rule, to which Krasovsky said Russia should shoot these people. The comments sparked outrage both inside and outside Russia, and Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba called on countries to ban RT for what he described as incitement to genocide. RT's editor-in-chief, Margarita Simonyan, said she had suspended Krasovsky over the disgusting comments. Wow! I actually can't believe it. To my knowledge, it's the first time I can think of somebody from RT getting fired for being too bigoted against the Ukrainian people. Yeah, all right. Read personal life. Yeah, I guess he was gay. I'll look at it in a second. The same day, Krasovsky apologized. Look, I'm really embarrassed that I somehow didn't see that edge about the children. What? Well, it happens like this. You're sitting on air, you're going wild, and you can't stop. Gamer moment! He's saying he had a gamer moment! Me too, dude. I get that. Forgive him. Forgive my man. He was on the bridge. Well, Samira Khan did get fired from RT over her Gulag comments. Yes, but that was RT in the West. RT, like, before they closed up shop, RT will fire, like, Americans and stuff. But right now, like, in Russia, firing a Russian commentator during the war. I don't recall that happening before over something like this. On the evening of the same day, Krasovsky recorded a 4-minute video apology stating that every baby's tear is my pain, my worst nightmare. Okay. So before he announced that he's gay and he's as much of a human being as President Putin and Premier Medvedev, his statement was not made online or was soon deleted, and on the 28th of January, Krasovsky resigned from the channel and denounced the working environment there. According to other sources, he was fired the same day. His face was soon censored from the show website and removed from the TV show's archives. Goddamn, 1984. Krasovsky stated he came out because he had had enough of feeling like a hypocrite. He later referred to the channel's entire output as propaganda. In May, following the murder of Vlad Tornovi, reportedly because he was thought to be gay, Krasovsky published an article in The Guardian denouncing homophobia in Russia, which he does here. He has since presented a program on Russia Today called The Antonyms, not anymore. And then on October 2022, he supported the approval of a law banning LGBT propaganda in Russia. Okay. Yeah, Dave Rubin. Yeah. Giant cuckold. Too committed to the bit, it would seem. He has HIV in Russia. Yeah, apparently he's had HIV since 2011, which, forgive my ignorance, but, like, I don't think in Russia, I don't think you can get, like, HIV care over there. I guess I'm surprised he's not more sickly. Like, maybe he's leaving the country to get it elsewhere, but I seriously doubt there are clinics in Russia that are giving you the kind of treatment for HIV that you could get here in America. I guess he has the money to travel to Europe if he needs to. Yeah, he's probably got the money, yeah. There are volunteer orgs that treat HIV. In Russia? That's gotta be dangerous. Some HIV treatment can be done just the pills, yeah. It's kind of wild because, like, over in the West, HIV is associated primarily with gay men, and I guess now trans women, whatever. But in Africa, where HIV is like that's where HIV is most the problem, you know. It's not really seen as a gay thing, right? Because HIV is a general problem over there. So over there it's just like, oh well, some people have HIV, you know. But it's not like the gay community or whatever. Like over here. Chat's wrong, it's worse than Reagan on HIV. Really? The silenced epidemic. Why does Russia fail to address HIV? Whereas significant progress has been made in controlling HIV globally, Russia's epidemic has continued to grow for the past 30 years. Excuse me. Out of a total population of 144 million, about 1.1 million Russians currently live with HIV. That's like 1% of the population. They restrict the work of civil society orgs in HIV prevention and care and suppress the dissemination of critical info regarding the scale of the epidemic. God damn. Over the previous 5 years, around 100,000 new infections have been reported annually. Oh my god. These are only the officially registered cases. Actual HIV infections are believed to be substantially higher. Oh my god. In 2020, there were more than 32,000 HIV-related deaths in the country. Jesus. In fact, demographers estimate the HIV mortality rate will continue to grow and may overtake the cancer mortality rate by 2030. Holy shit! Beating out cancer? Russia's HIV epidemic is primarily driven by intravenous drug use and was originally centered on vulnerable population, including drug users, sex workers, men who have sex with men, and prison inmates. With 1.4% of the Russian population aged 15 to 49 being HIV positive as of 2020, the epidemic is increasingly generalized. Jesus. Yeah, look, 40% of the people with HIV in Russia are women now. So it's not even like a gay community thing. HIV is also heavily transmitted through heterosexual relationships. Yeah, well, apparently, you know. Again, like, HIV can absolutely go through vaginal sex. It's just more likely through anal because of micro tears, because it's the butt, you know? But, like, also straight couples have anal sex. So, you know, about 1.2 million people in the U.S. have HIV, which is about 0.3% of the population. So a good proportionally quite a bit lower. How many America HIV deaths? Probably pretty few these days, right? Okay, not as few as I would have hoped. 13,000 people. Wait, nearly 13,000 people with AIDS die each year. Okay. Oh, wait, okay. Still, more than 5,000 people died with HIV/AIDS as the underlying cause of death in 2019. 5,000 is a lot less than 32,000, I think, if I'm doing the numbers correctly. Damn. 3%? No, 0.3%. With modern excuse me, with modern medication, HIV and AIDS are basically nothing, right? Modern, like, the problem is the medication is expensive, but if you have it, like, HIV AIDS is basically like nothing, I think, at this point. If you have the necessary medical stuff, like, it's just not that much of a dangerous. Yeah, it's not curable, but it's like practically curable in the sense that it really like cuts down. Undetectable means unspreadable. Yeah. Not necessarily. The meds can have really adverse side effects. Really? I didn't realize the meds had adverse side effects in the long term. Whatever the case is, I think that thing you can take called PrEP, it means that, like, it makes it, like, really, like, basically impossible to spread HIV or receive it. So, like, if you're taking PrEP, you're, like, practically immune to getting it. I think you can Google it. I'm not a doctor, you know, whatever. Aren't you on PrEP? What if I am on PrEP? I'm not on PrEP. You should be on prep, though. Okay.